What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we'll be taking a look at a title called Shadows of Forbidden Gods. We covered this about, well, a long time ago, alright? The game continues to be in early access, but the developer Bobby Two Hands has added a whole bunch of fun stuff to it, so we're going to dive on in again and hopefully reintroduce you to this super rad grand strategy game that is all about awakening elder gods. What is this game about? In this title, you are a Yog-Sothoth Lovecraftian god, and your goal is to awaken yourself and either enslave or destroy all of humanity. The methods by which you do that depend on the god which you pick, but that is the ultimate goal of the game. Now, you're not doing that in a vacuum. You are an elder god that is trying to come to life on a map where a gazillion factions and heroes are all playing Crusader Kings, and one of the ways that they win is by unifying basically the entire planet against you to wage a war against the Dark Lord, whether you're like Sauron or Voldemort or whatever else. The goal of the heroes in this game is to travel around, get rid of all the tension between all of these warring nations that all hate each other, and unify them into sort of like the allies to come against you and defeat you. And the game is all about the actions you take to enslave, ensorcel, enshadow, take over kingdoms, but also to sabotage the heroes and the factions that are trying to stop you by seeing what they're up to in a Machiavellian way before they can get their plans across. This game is in early access. Don't let that lie to you, though. The early access of this game is very robust. There's like 5 or 6 gods, and it's going to take you a long time to learn to play each one, because each one has their own particular playstyle that is distinct. I'll give you a few examples when we go to pick a god, but spoiler alert, we're going to pick one of the most bare basic ones, because it's easier to explain the game without a whole bunch of supplementary mechanics clogging up the mix. But if after watching this you wanted to get the early access for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. And then on top of that, you can also catch me on Discord or on Twitch. Those links are down there as well. Good chance I'll stream this game at some point over the next week or so. And so if you wanted to see the game more in depth, we could do that. Let's go ahead and start a new game. So there are a bunch of different gods you can play as, and the artwork in this game is really fantastic when it comes to the design of the gods. I'll give you a few examples here. So there is Easter. Easter's mechanic is the book. Easter is a god of madness that has a book that has arcane secrets inside of it, and Easter wins the game by manipulating people by leaving the book inside dungeons or by gifting it to kings. They think it's a boon or they think it's a treasure, and then as it turns out, it's slowly driving them insane, and after they become a raving lunatic, you come reclaim the book and do it to the next guy again, over and over and over again until you've created like Madness Planet. Venerva, she grows trees and groves. Those trees and groves provide food to neighboring settlements, but they become addicted to the food, and then you can use kind of like the poisons and the treachery of the fruit that you've been feeding them in order to make interesting things happen. And so she's kind of an interesting gameplay method because the heroes will be trying to chop down forests that you are creating that are slowly sort of like fey corrupting the world. As you're, she's weird because she solves humanity's problems, though they think she's beneficial, but as it turns out, she's just getting them addicted to her boons so that she can use them for her will, and it's kind of a fun way to play. One of the things I like about this game is that the gods are not just like evil. They are evil, but they go about the methods of implanting that evil in sort of like believable ways that desperate humans would fall for. I like it. There's Orphanim, who's all about kind of like creating your own imperium of light or of darkness that purges the non-believer. Basically a reference to like faith and religion being a force for good or for evil, depending on how they're implemented. Orphanim doesn't care. You can create a dark, evil kingdom. You can create a kingdom of light that purges the non-believer. Orphanim doesn't care. Those are just tools to Orphanim. There's Mammon, which is manipulating kind of trade and manipulating economies to get giant world wars to kick off and have humanity wipe themselves out. And then there's Cordyceps, who is new. They're basically a Zerg or a Tyranid hive mind, where you slowly infect human beings with the Cordyceps strain, which slowly makes them become paralyzed, and then you take heroes that you converted from humans into human half-bugs, and they will kidnap the paralyzed human beings and bring them back to your hive. You feed them to the hive, and that's how you break the seals and awaken. Very interesting god, but unfortunately Cordyceps is not done yet. There's still like a lot of placeholders and whatnot with Cordyceps, and so not all of Cordyceps is finished. So you're going to be missing, like, I think a hero and some other stuff with Cordyceps if you choose to play him or her right now. For the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to play She Who Will Feast, because She Who Will Feast is the easiest way to explain the game. She Who Will Feast is a bare basic god. It's a giant snake that sleeps in between the stars. She awakens. It puts a giant snake the size of a mountain on the map. The snake can level whole cities by itself once it awakens. She Who Will Feast basically takes over the planet by creating cults, and those cults infiltrate all facets of life, from religion to the farming cycle and the harvest. And once you have cultists in key places, you basically flip the switch and everything falls to darkness. You start assassinating everybody that's not on board. In order to play all of the more advanced gods, you are going to have to learn She Who Will Feast, because She Who Will Feast is basically the no-frills god that teaches you the core basic ways to win the game that you always need to be on the lookout for. Before they stack a whole more layers of complication on top of it. For that reason, I know that we played She Who Will Feast the last time I showed this game off, but for the purposes of introducing a new player to the game, I do think that She Who Will Feast is the easiest way to go for a YouTube video trying to convince people that this game is awesome, because she is the least complicated and she is the most reliant on the basic gameplay core loop that some of the other gods can kind of ignore a little bit. Like, you won't learn that skill playing other gods. So we'll go with She Who Will Feast for right now. The thing we do need to do is, what I'm going to do here is we can decide on our world size. I'm going to cut this down a little bit because it's much, much easier to explain the game on a smaller map, because there's going to be a lot less message spam, and there's going to be a lot less things happening in the overall grand strategy that the AI is playing. The bigger your map is, the harder the game is. If you put it up to like 65 or 70, that's a very difficult game. If you take it down to like 5x5, you'll basically win the game in like 10 turns by default. And so anyways, just keep that in mind. Small maps are really easy. Big maps are really hard. This is somewhere in the middle, and so I think it'll work for a YouTube video. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a map seed. We'll put this on normal difficulty. There is an advanced options tab where you can enable and disable certain mechanics, like orcs or like deep ones. Just kind of like supplementary events that happen on the world map that you can take advantage of. I don't know why you would disable those, but you can if you don't particularly like any of those mechanics. Your gameplay start is pretty customizable. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. So here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe. This is the game map. I know it looks really complicated, and it looks really difficult, but actually, for all of the UI gore, and for as complicated as this game looks, it's not actually that complicated. This is a case where this game is really intimidating to look at, but the core gameplay loop is actually super simple once you know what you're looking for. Let's boil it down for a new player. You are a god. She Who Will Feast. You have power, which is your MP. You can spend that on magical spells. Seals are constraining your corporeal body right now. When those all break, which happens on a timeline, you awaken and you become a giant worm on the map that can destroy entire cities, and you're kind of like in the final moments of the game where you need to move fast to advance your victory points up to 100% in order to win. You have agents. In the beginning of the game, and pretty much all the way until you have like 8 seals broken, you're pretty weak. You're sort of limited in the way that you can affect the world. You have agents to do that for you. We start out with the supplicant. We can only have 2 agents right now, and every 45 turns we get a point, which allows us to recruit a new agent. Agents come in 2 varieties. Unique agents, you only get 1 of these for the entire game, and once they die, they're gone. And generic agents, which come in 3 flavors, deceit, magic, and fighting. You can have as many of these as you want. Doesn't matter. But these guys up here, they are unique, and once they die, they're gone for good. I would recommend, though, that you use these very aggressively. Just due to the fact that the game is not actually that long. You only have 500 turns. And so the amount of times I've played this game for like X amount of hours with generic agents, just in case someday I need my better agents, and I've gotten to like turn 400, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't used any of my agents. I just kind of stopped doing it. Now I use unique agents like right at the beginning of the game. But that's what your recruitment points are for. Now, because you're a god, you can't act on the world. The world is divided up into wilderness tiles, occupied tiles, faction tiles, those sorts of things. There are different actions that your agent can do on any of those tiles, and if you want to know what they are, you just click on it, and you go challenges, and it'll tell you these are all the things that your agent can do on these tiles. And it might seem like there's a lot of them, but play around with them, and you'll slowly figure out what they do. And it's not actually that complicated once you know the options you have available on any given tile, and you've just kind of committed them to memory. For right now, what we need to do is we need to start infiltrating our cult into the various aspects of life somewhere. Doesn't really matter where we do that, just so long as we do it somewhere. And we want to look for opportunities. So it looks like on turn 1, they've already set up magical wards over here to stop the spread of darkness, which means that we definitely don't want to mess around on that side. I'm guessing that the Chosen One lives there. Yeah, there's the Chosen One. The Chosen One is a special hero that their only job is to mess with you the entire game. They are trying to unite all the factions together against you. They are the boy crying wolf right now, being like, oh my god, there's a Dark Lord coming. Why won't anybody listen to me? And as you start to do gnarlier and gnarlier things like burning down huge chunks of society, they will start to believe the Chosen One. And so you want to sow as much discord as you can. You want all these kingdoms to hate each other so that they never want to hang out with one another. And you're going to do that by kind of like shadow puppeting wars and doing other things to make them really have a lot of grievances with one another. There's an orc invasion happening down here, it looks like, which represents a decent opportunity. It looks like with the starting configuration of the map, they've actually kind of killed everybody already, weirdly enough. And they're isolated by an ocean. So we actually sort of have like a unique opportunity down here. The Brothers of Couture. Who is Couture? Huh. Apparently this is just, they're not aligned with any faction. The Brothers of Couture over here are a holy order that just likes to hunt orcs. Alright. Interesting enough. It looks like they're coming down here and wiping out orc camps every now and again. And it looks like they're trying to attack that fortress right there. But the orcs do have an army. I don't want to invest in the orcs, I think, as a strategy for right now, because they might get wiped out. This army is not unfathomably huge. Well, actually, they might get wiped out by the defenses over there. Yeah, let's make a warlord. We'll wake them up over here at the fortress. Whenever you make an agent, they level up. You get to pick a stat. All of your agents have 4 stats. Might, which is how good they are at fighting. It affects their attack. Lore, which is how good they are at magic. Intrigue, that's how good they are at sneaking, secret, clandestine operations. And command, which is how good they are at organizing, convincing, charisma, that kind of stuff. There's our orc warlord who worships us. For the orcs, they have kind of like a special mechanic. Basically, somewhere in the orc lands, there's going to be a guy who has a banner. That banner gives you control of the orc horde. And so we need to go kill this orc upstart over here in order to claim his stuff, basically. Like, we need that flag. Once we have the flag, we can take our orc warlord and we can plant the flag in cities. And then these armies that generate out of these fortresses will always go for that city until it's destroyed. And that's kind of one of the methods by which you can win the game. For right now, there's not actually much we can do here. Are these habitable? I guess I could spread orc hegemony out here by claiming territory, I suppose. Oh, he moved. Oh, there's different orc warbands. Okay, so there's 2 banners flying around. He's got 4 attack. I've got 5 attack. I'm pretty sure I can take this guy. It's down to 3, so I hit him once. That takes him down to defense goes first. That'll drop him down to 4 health. I think I kill this guy if I fight him, but it's kind of hard to say. We may need to level up a little bit more. Either way, let's claim this territory right here for Orcandom. Every activity you do in this game gives XP to the agent that's doing it and levels them up. We'll claim that territory, which will turn it into an orc camp, which basically gives this guy yet another thing he has to deal with, and it slowly levels up our orc, so perfectly fine. We'll go back to our supplicant over here, and other areas that we kind of want to look into. To me, it doesn't look like there's kind of wars going. It looks like there is a problem with unrest in some of these places, but it's not like a huge amount of unrest. It's like just a marginal amount of unrest, not necessarily exploitable. There's not a whole lot to work with here on the map so far, so I think we're just going to have to kind of go for it. We're neighboring the forces of light over here, so ideally, I'd kind of like to be far away from the chosen one as I can possibly be. It may not be a bad idea to mess around up here in the north. So when you're looking at locations, the one stat you want to be the most aware of when you look at these little cities and whatnot is you want to look at the security rating, because any activity that your guy does in those areas is going to have a modifier for how long it takes that's set by the security rating. It's basically how many guards they have and how many people are raising an eyebrow at the suspicious things you're doing. And so you want the security rating to be pretty low. To me, it doesn't look like any city is particularly weak right now. So I think we just need to pick a turd sandwich and bite down. The town of Perturd, I think, is going to be the first place we go after, maybe. I'm going to come down to this village right here, and it's only got one security, so I'm going to have my agent begin infiltrating the little farming community out here until further notice. And then we'll probably try to infiltrate this village as well. We'll probably try to infiltrate that cathedral to get control of the religion in the area. And then I'll probably send someone, assuming there's still unrest here, over to Lucrous Bastion to really stoke that unrest and see if I can get it a little wild and crazy. The Supplicant has a level up. It's going to give him... The Supplicant's basically a unique agent. You can't get another one after he dies. And so he gets some cool abilities. We've got to pick one. So he can be a conduit. This means whenever he enshadows an area, it restores 2 of our MP. That can be pretty nice if you're casting a lot of powers. There's Dying Light, which means that shadow increases by 1% per turn. We'll talk about what that means in a minute after we infiltrate. And then Martyr for the Dark means that if he is killed inside of a settlement, all points of interest are instantly scouted. That's also really good if you wanted to use him as kind of like a tactical suicide bomber of infiltration on a really, really stiff location that's hard to get into. For now, we'll go with Dying Light because spreading shadow is a good idea. Every place has 2 stats you'll want to watch out for. Infiltration is how much you have infested that particular community with your cult. At 100%, it means that your cult controls pretty much everything here, and you can begin enshadowing. Enshadowing is a stat that basically represents how much have you converted the population over into doing your will. So infiltration is how many places your cult is placed, and enshadowment is how well they've done killing, coercing, converting, and otherwise turning people into worshiping cultists that control. If this goes up to 100, you basically control that location, and the forces of good cannot get it back without burning it down and building a new village, basically. It means that that place is wholly dedicated to you as a god. They might, just give you access to their vault or their treasury. It just kind of depends. It gives you a lot of little bonuses. For now, we're just going to infiltrate. It's going to take us 19 turns to get on in there, so it's going to be a little bit. This game does have a lot of kind of spam when it comes to messages for things that are happening. I largely just kind of like disable them one by one while I play the game. But, the game in the beginning is always going to have a lot of spam for like random events happening. There's also like this weird thing where characters are going to start becoming aware of you even though you haven't done anything yet. It almost universally happens within the first couple turns. I wish they explained it a little bit better, because like I'll have agents that have not done anything, I have not cast any spells, and yet somehow half the planet will be aware of me already. It's a very odd mechanic that I think it's just kind of like the wheels beginning to turn, and maybe it sounds more important than it actually is. It doesn't really affect anything. Oh no, dude. He canceled out his warlord thing. Hold on, what's this warlord thing doing down here? He was supposed to claim that territory. Oh no, dude. This guy burned it down. What a jerk. Let's start building up some orcish industry, I think. So orcish tiles, they have this thing called industry. It basically affects how fast they are able to build up like a war effort. And if you're kind of lucky, you can organize the horde. Actually, we're not going to be able to do that until we whack a guy. So I think we're going to have to whack a guy. I think he will live if he attacks this guy and claims the banner, but it's sort of hard to say. Tough call. Is that guy a squishier target? He is a squishier target. Let's go up to Fortress Sean. Sean! And see if we can whack this guy. Let's take out this orcish upstart. Combat in this game is very simple. It is turn-based. The attacker attacks first because they have the initiative. In fact, I'm relying on it this time around. We're going to hit him for 5 damage. That's going to take him down to 4 HP. He's going to hit us back. That's going to take us down to 3 HP. I'm going to smack him again. He's going to die, and then it's going to take us to a looting menu. It's going to give you some flavor text as well. The writing in this game is very good. In case you did not know, I find that the prose is very attractive, sometimes even intoxicating. And now we have our first orcish banner. We are now the king of the Zon Hill Horde. So there you go. Are these guys the Zon Hill Horde? They are. And so what we need to do now is we need to subjugate this location. That means that we've come back with our flag. We are claiming that we are the rightful leader of the orcs down here. And we are now converting this entire orc fortress on over to our dark cause, thus giving ourselves access to an army. Armies are good. We want to have an army. Having an army is dope. So for 3 or 4 turns, he's going to be subjugating. It'll be fine. And then back over here, he's infiltrating, so the supplicant feels unwell as a poison has racked their system. A human that deals in stealth and precision, less direct and visible in their methods than the usual hero, has poisoned him. They may have to slow down their progress, or we could heal them with a measure of our power. He's pretty far along on the challenge, so I'm gonna heal him with my MP. I don't want to, but I'm going to. We have now infiltrated the farming community. You can spread shadow faster at any location that you have infiltrated, and it will also give you options. So as you can see, we can now assassinate leaders. We can now rob treasuries. We can now make a well of shadows, which is a magical hole in the ground that spreads darkness to neighboring territories and has to be dealt with by heroes. We can do all kinds of fun things now that we've infiltrated here. And he has leveled up, which is what that little icon means. So we will add another point to intrigue because he's going to be kind of my stealth and infiltration guy. And we will now, as you can see, the security is down to 0 now that we have infiltrated this place. And the security is dropped by 1 on the neighboring town as well. That's good stuff. Let's go ahead and move over to here, and we will infiltrate this holy site next. Basically, I'm going to set up a network over here. You can tell whether or not you've infiltrated a location because it'll get these little black tendrils on it. Are we all good over here too? We are. We are all good. Good. We need to rest and resupply. That's going to allow him to heal himself. And then we're probably going to need to build this place up and make it suck less. That's probably our opening salvo when it comes to the orcs. The Huyan Coast Horde declares war on Zon Hill. That sucks. I don't like that. Guys, we're orcs. We should be banding together in a great green tide to eliminate the filthy humies. Just saying. Like, I feel like we're wasting our efforts here. Let's go ahead and we will organize the horde. That'll take us 4 turns. A first shadow is taken hold and the world becomes darker. As you expand your shadow, the nobles and heroes of the world become obscured by darkness and lose the ability to defend themselves against your coming dominion. Yeah, so the other benefit of spreading darkness is that any hero that's on an area that's been in darkness, they slowly start to get converted. They've got a stat called Enshadowment, And when it gets up to 50%, they basically give in to despair, and they just sit around all day doing nothing. They don't go out of their way to stop you anymore unless it's like right in their front yard. They basically become Denethor, and they sit there just kind of eating tomatoes as gross as possible and lamenting their life. And then when it gets to 100%, that means they're completely taken over, and that means I can actually convert them into one of my agents, which is good. You want to do that. Hoping the Chosen One just kind of like pisses off. I don't really... The last time I played, the Chosen One was like right where I started out, and it was super annoying having to deal with him. That guy's going to try to plant a banner on me. That's exactly what he's going for. He's going to come over here and plant his banner, and then we're going to get attacked. Oh no, he went back over there. I may have to whack him. I don't know. We'll see if we get this done first in organizing. There we go. We organized the horde, and if we click on this, you'll see that Orcish industry is much higher than it previously was, and you can see that they're now spitting out armies, which is great. If your organization is over a certain threshold, they start spitting out armies, and it's very helpful. I don't know if I can sabotage this army or anything. I do think we should do Orcish expansion. That sounds pretty good. It's going to claim one of these plains or ruins with another camp that belongs to our faction. It's going to expand our border. We're kind of fighting along multiple fronts right now. Unbeknownst to the world, I'm infiltrating over here, and I'm kind of like not even a threat. I'm just some weird guys in hoods. They're talking about like a new faith and religion, but they don't know that down on the bottom end of the planet, I'm slowly consolidating my control over the Orcish warband. Looks like while the supplicant is trying to infiltrate, he's got an event. The supplicant encounters a group of potential supporters. Some of the local decadents are willing to assist him, but support has a cost. They want to taste your power. I could allow it. Yeah, they can have one of my power. That's fine. We've got thunder cracks in the sky and lightning rages in arcs as the very environment turns against warlord surges. That's actually kind of punny, I guess, or kind of ironic. You're telling me that Warlord Surges is having his efforts hampered by lightning? Oh my. That's solid electrician humor right there. Who has found himself caught in a violent thunderstorm that threatens to topple trees and electrify the unfortunate. That looks like content to me. We can protect him with our power. We can have him continue and he'll lose HP. Or he can lose progress. I'm going to protect him, I guess. I don't have that much power right now. Kind of sucks. When the next seal breaks, I'll get my power back. So hopefully nothing bad happens in the near future. We can also create another agent right now, which I think is a pretty good idea. I'm going to make a warlock, I guess. Actually, no, I'm not. Hold on. I'm going to create a trickster. Because a trickster lets me steal stuff from people around the map, and it doesn't really cost me anything. So I can just have her cruising around being annoying and pickpocketing people to start filling up my coffers. She can spawn wherever she wants, probably in the town of Turd would be a good idea. And her first ability can either be Attack Monkey. Attack Monkey increases her attack power. She can have a Pickpocket Primate. That means anytime she moves to a location with a hero, she steals 15 gold. She can have Adorable Monkey. When we take that trait, 2 of the closest heroes to her instantly become her friends. So it just sort of depends what you want to do. Adorable Monkey is really useful if you're planning on using her as a suicide bomber. So you have her make friends with 2 heroes that are really powerful. And then you have her attack and get murdered by somebody. And when she gets murdered, the 2 really powerful heroes that are her friends will go hostile to the hero that killed her off or to the king that killed her off, and it'll cause infighting. For now, Pickpocket Primate, because we don't have any money, and I want to have money. We want to start looking around for any heroes that have cash in their pockets so that we can steal from them. Unfortunately, it looks like most of these heroes are broke as a joke. Man, these heroes' pockets are touching, man. This is not a... Why are y'all so broke? These heroes need to get on their cash flow, man. It's tough out here. Apparently, the pre-apocalyptic economy is not rattling along at the same clip that it used to. All right. We could have her just infiltrate the market over here. It's not the worst idea I've ever had. Oh, she started with 40 gold too. That's pretty cool. She can buy an axe. What does the axe do? It just gives her +1 might. Okay. They've also got, apparently, a wide selection of shoes here. The Boots of Wealth. You will gain 1 gold every time you move. That one gives you 3 XP every time you move. I mean, since she is our gold farmer, it might not be a bad idea to buy that. She's going to be traveling around a lot, pickpocketing heroes. So, feels like it's going to add up. Does anybody have money? Do any of you heroes... Oh, he's got money I can steal. Nice, dude. Karabibu apparently has stuff I can steal. We have infiltrated the holy site. We have also received the boots, which is good. It'll take 35 moves in order to make that money back, but we're going to go over to there to Vumus, and we're going to steal from Karabibu. And stealing... Oh, no, he's going to spend the 40 gold next turn. He's buying a knight. They cost 40 gold. Is there anybody else I can steal from? I just want to steal. That's all I've ever wanted to do. This character's like the Moonanites. She just likes stealing. She just thinks it's awesome. Alas, no one has any money. Okay. Well, then your job is to travel down to the east side depths and make some of your money back. We'll just have you patrol around the map for a little while. How is the defense going over here? Are you guys, like, winning, or are you guys, like, losing? Let's cause some Orcish expansion. Oh, they're already doing Orcish expansion. Nice. He doesn't have an activity that he's currently doing. Infiltrate the catacombs, too. Orcish expansion has concluded. So now we have Camp Jean Yi. Their industry is quite bad. Oh, this location's a geomantic locus. Interesting. Geomantic locuses are basically ley lines for any mage in the game that's specialized in geomancy. They can do all kinds of interesting stuff with them, but you gotta, like, find the ley lines first. Let's organize the horde a little bit over here since they have no industry. It looks like King Hybus Curat is creating wards to stop the spread of my shadow. Why wouldn't he? That's probably a smart idea. Oh yeah, look at you over there being a pain. Look at you making my life difficult. I see you. Are these people getting enshadowed? I need people to get enshadowed. Maybe I'll make a harvester next. It's not a lot of war, though. Like, I don't know if there's any dead bodies around for my harvester. So basically, there's a ghost called the Harvester that I can summon. If there's dead bodies from heroes on any of these tiles, he can eat them, and it gives him a stacking buff that makes him corrupt people if he's on the same tile as they are, and also suck their brains out. It's pretty cool. He's a pretty useful minion, in all honesty. Probably one of my favorite minions. Something about brain suckage and eating souls just does it for me. I think they're winning, is what it looks like to me. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. But either way, we're propping up Orcish industry over here. Hopefully they start putting together someone that wants to fight would be a good idea. Let's go ahead and continue organizing the horde for a few more turns. He has leveled up, which allows us to put another point of strength on him, which means that he hits for 6 now, which means he can probably go after this guy for the 2-turn knockout, but let's keep organizing the horde just to make ourselves a headache. Our trickster has arrived at Eastside Depths. That was 7 moves. Do we have any heroes around? Let me take a look and see if there's any heroes that have money so I can steal from them. No heroes with cash just yet. Once they start doing quests and stuff to stop us, they'll end up with more money. I'll just tell her to keep walking back and forth across the map until she's got good cash flow. We're going to keep working on Orcish industry over here, and then he is infiltrating, correct? Yes. Infiltration has happened. Oh, cool. We did 2 things in a turn. Nice. So she is consecrating the location, which I think means that she's getting rid of all the darkness that I've put on this location. That's okay. I don't really mind altogether that much. We're still infiltrated, so I think it'll be fine. If I had a wizard character, we could start plopping Well of Shadows all over the place to start spreading darkness. Security is down to 3 on Perturbed. Where are they getting their food from? Lucrous Bastion as well. All right, let's infiltrate Lucrous Bastion too. we're just going to keep on infiltrating, but our menace is getting kind of high. The stats you want to look out for on these characters are boiled down to profile and menace. If you wanted to determine whether or not the good guys are going to come after your agents, profile and menace are what determine that. So profile is how, like, visually identifiable they are. So a high-profile character is easy to find. He's easy to track down. He's a mob boss that walks around in silks with gold earrings, bragging about how dope he is, talking about how he's going to kill the chief of police in broad daylight. That's somebody that's, like, high profile. Menace is how big of a threat you actually are. And so if you wanted to think about it in really condensed terms, menace determines whether or not someone's going to come after you, and profile determines how easy it is for them to find you once they make that decision. And so once your menace gets up to like over 100, every adventurer on Earth is going to see you as a big bad and try to come after you. Well, I organized the horde the best that I could, okay? But it does look like this other horde is going to wipe us out, so I don't think there's any way around it. I gotta kill this other orc war boss. My supplicant just leveled up. Probably not a terrible idea to give him a little bit of lore, so that he's a little bit better with magic. Let's see here. Sir Avitant Depila has driven back Shadow, yeah. Okay, I figured that's what she was doing, and as you can see, if we go back over here, there's now no enshadowment on that location. So the heroes have driven back our shadow from there and kind of purged our cultists. It's fine. It's no biggie. It's not a huge deal. You're gonna you're gonna break a lot of eggs making occult omelets. All right. Where is my guy at? Yeah, I need you to be over here. We need to take this guy out. Let's see here. Your supplicant is interrupted by a cough, one which carries the definite message to the listener. He has been seen by a passerby who watches him lazily, slowly smoking on plant matter, occasionally belching acrid clouds as she watches the world go by. The guards are close at hand. She implies that unless the supplicant makes a donation to her smoking habit, she might cause a disturbance, which will slow things down. I mean, I don't have anything, so it sucks. But my orc has arrived over here, which means we need to challenge this guy to a battle fight. So we deal 6 damage, he does 5. We've dropped him down to 4 HP on the first turn, and then we have killed him. Voila. We now have another war flag, so we now control both of the hordes. I don't know if those guys are going to continue fighting. Oh, they destroyed it, so yeah, that kind of sucks. But it's okay. We're going to unify these hordes. It's going to be all right. You come back over to the fortress, and we're going to start getting things in order for the orc warband. All right, so he's arrived. Looks like we have the Brothers of Couture are coming down here to attack us again. They think the orcs are getting out of hand. They are raising a neighboring location. That will probably be the death of the yellow orc faction. Doesn't really matter, as long as I'm in control of the orange orc faction by the time it happens. Let's go ahead and we will finish off that yellow faction, and we'll just keep it simple by spreading orange around. I'm going to subjugate this fortress. Another seal is broken. We have become stronger. We have gotten more power back. That is good. Wild fauna, not going to worry about that event for right now. I'm trying to keep things moving. And then our thief is up to 23 gold here. Very nice. Ooh, we have an opportunity over here. I just noticed it. There's a deep one cult that's spreading over there. Abandon infiltrating the fortress. We're going to go for the deep one cult. That's exactly what it sounds like. We can raise an army of fish people to harass and annoy the enemy and give them yet another target to focus on. It may backfire on us because the fish kingdom is going to neighbor the orc kingdom, so we may actually end up sabotaging ourselves by doing this, but still. This is not a game about winning, which you really need to internalize with this game. Like, this is a game that's kind of like Dwarf Fortress, where the fun of the game is the story that unfolds and the challenges you go up against the entire time. You're not always supposed to win this game. I've had games in this where I've lost, where it was infinitely more entertaining than the one where I won resoundingly and instantly cast the world into darkness. We need to actually come down here and let's just have all hands on deck dealing with Just kind of dealing with this, this fish people situation, because the fish people are at 51%. So that's, like, really good for us. He's trying to decimate the deep ones. That kind of sucks. He's not very strong. Technically, I could run him off with my Orc Warlord, but I don't know if I can get up there in time. My Orc Warlord also needs to rest for 3 turns before he could get up there to, like, smack some sense into that guy and tell him to his name is Orc Slayer Exexpos. Okay. Do I have any powers that would fix this situation? I guess I could cast Dangers in the Dark on it, but I have to have shadows higher than 50 in order to make that work. Basically, Shadows in the Dark is a spell that makes him take damage from doing quests. And so at least we'd soften him up a little. This may not work out. I may have abandoned the fortress for no reason whatsoever. We will shortly find out. I think he has subjugated the horde down here. We need to encourage... How organized is the horde over here? Not very organized. Let's go ahead and organize the horde first. An orc from Zon Hills is making a name for himself, claiming to be the rightful leader of the horde. You little turd. How dare you? Can't believe you've done this. Where's he at? He's over there. We gotta do something about him before he becomes a headache. Yep, we're gonna have to do something about him. He's gotta go so that our empire can spread. But not right now, though. I'm busy. He's arrived. He's died of old age. Apparently, somebody is falling to shadow over here. Ah, it's the head of the village that is falling to shadow. That makes sense. The Elder Tomb spreads shadow around on its own just to give you a little bit of like a leg up versus anything that might be going wrong. And so it's just like to help you get started. The allies will border this off pretty quickly with wards, but it can be useful. I've had starting locations that are really good, that have mattered. So let's get some more. What are you doing right now? Okay, so like here's the thing. We need him to go away. He's just sitting around causing problems. So I think what we'll do first is we'll try to hide the deep ones to make them harder to clear off. Yeah. Kind of is what it is. Oh, nice. We, go ahead and infiltrate the farming community over there. But yeah, we've organized this horde right here. So that's good. And they've been subjugated. We want to move over to here. And we want to subjugate this camp now. Basically, we want them all to be on our side. And then eventually, I think we'll probably want to put like a well of shadow down here or something. We have somebody who died of old age. And it looks like, apparently, is that the chosen one? Oh, nice. I was going to go kill that guy, but now I don't need to kill him. Sweet, dude. You guys should definitely do a battle fight right there, though. The Brothers of Cthulhu need to go away. The Brothers of Cthulhu are super annoying, and they need to go. So we've subjugated that camp now. He should be leveling up at a decent clip. I was going to say, we're making like a lot of meaningful progress right now towards making the Orc Warhorde stronger and, more importantly, unifying it under our cause. Things are not going very well in the north. Things are going great for this phase of the game down here. They're going fantastic. So if the whole subterfuge thing doesn't work out, we'll just fall back on throwing massive hordes of millions of orcs at the realms of men. You know, we'll fall back on that old classic strategy. That old classic strategy. Let's see here. Destroying arcane secrets. That's kind of annoying. What are you doing over here? You're concealing the deep ones. There we go. So continue concealing the deep ones so that they are harder to get rid of. And, hey, he quit. He doesn't see them anymore. Nice. That's exactly what I was going for. So apparently the deep ones were, their profile was too high. So, like, humans knew that they were over here and that they were causing problems. We just needed someone to come on over and put a little human suit on them. We will empower the deep ones now, and we will empower them many, many times. So each time you empower them, it's going to increase the amount that they grow per turn. And really what we want is we want them to get really out of control. We want them to be, like, super obnoxiously out. His menace is kind of high. Never mind. Lay low for a second. There's an activity you can do on any city called lay low. It will cause your profile and your menace to go back down if it's growing and it's getting out of control. Did that guy make any money from hunting deep ones? He did not. I was going to go steal from him. Damn. Nobody to steal from, man. I took that ability and I can't steal from nobody. Let's see. So you are converting that camp over. So that has now been subjugated. This week, the trickster finds she has no more tasks to be completed and everything's in order. So she can either lower her menace or lower her profile. She doesn't have either, so it doesn't matter. Basically an event that should probably be disabled if they don't have any profile or menace, so that you don't end up with... This game already has a lot of pop-ups. I think there's something to be said about lowering the amount of pop-ups, especially if that pop-up serves no function. Our warlord is leveled up again. Very nice. We're going to want this warlord to raise his might. Continue becoming stronger. He's at 8 attack right now. And, like, at a certain point, we're going to get some swords and, like, some armor and whatnot, and then this guy's going to become really scary. Orcish Industry's kind of bad over here. Oh, good, our army. It's up to 56. That's why, if you look at Orcish Industry, that's what it affects. It affects how large your army can become, in my experience. And so that's why I've been subjugating and then fixing their economy each time. Sandstorm. Surges finds himself caught... Oh, hisself. Warlord Surges finds himself caught in a sandstorm. The word hisself make it sound like that right there. The howling winds of the deserts don't carry them rays like sand grains, slicing into flesh and blinding your eyes. I'll protect him with my power so that he doesn't lose. Actually, he can lose progress. He has no progress on that task anyways. Who cares? It makes him take one extra turn. If it was going to happen, it happened at a really opportune time. What are you guys doing over here? You are laying low. That's right. He better lay low. Baroness Site de Pila watches aghast as her sister Baroness Orimer de Pila falls into shadow, horrified to watch her personality shift as her soul is devoured by living darkness, which is infecting the world's people. She will be vigilant against it and protect herself. She now dislikes shadow. That's okay. Oh, our victory is up to 5%. Probably due to one orc faction being wiped out, and also us killing off the Brothers of Cthulhu, would be my guess. The city of Cant. Everybody here is very unmotivated, in case you were wondering. Nobody does much in the city of Cant. They're kind of like the pirates that don't do anything. They just lay at home and lie around. And if you ask us to do anything, we'll just tell you we don't do anything. Apparently the Chosen One is really trying super hard right now to ally factions against us. I'll call her to serve. That was an event for our own personal Chosen One. I'm kind of like going through dialogue quickly right now because I've seen most of it, and hopefully you decide to play the game so that you can experience it. XP is going well. We need to go over and we want to... We could explore ruins right here. Unite the hordes. Causes all orcs for whom you hold a banner to unify under the Hoya. Oh, yeah, let's do that then. Hold on. How do I unify all the orcs? So unite the hordes. You need to have 2 banners from 2 different hordes. Neither horde can be at war. Oh, well, that would have been a useful piece of information. Okay. Go back over there then. And then there's an option. Actually, I don't think it matters because they got wiped out. I don't think we can unify something that's been obliterated. You guys are under my control, right? All right, good. I need you guys to be underneath my thumb. You go over here and subjugate that horde. Thunder cracks overhead. The lightning is attacking our trickster, unfortunately. I will let her lose progress, I suppose. Alright, so we're in the camp. We need to subjugate it. That should only take a couple of turns. It looks like our supplicant has finally gotten his profile down, which means that he can go back to raising the deep ones. So let's go ahead and do that. I want my deep ones to become very strong. And we should be able to do that rapidly. Ah, there we go. So now they're getting 4% more fish people per turn. That's right. Swing on through the city of Kant. For all your Deep One cult supplying needs, we produce 4%. That's right. Dial the number on screen right now. For low monthly payments of $19.99, you too can have 4% Deep One cult growth inside your village right this second. I don't know how much higher. I don't remember what the max is on Deep One growth. Their profile is getting larger, though, so we need to conceal them again. It looks like he has subjugated another orc camp. That is fantastic. We don't need to fix their economy because it's, like, somewhat okay. Their economy is terrible, though, so we need to subjugate these guys, and then we need to fix their economy so that our horde continues to get bigger and more chunkier, and then I can take that horde. And, well, these humans over here are pretty prepped for us. They've got big armies. We're going to have to, our orc prep plans, all right? You got to do your orc prep work. But our orc prep work's going to take a little bit more effort before it gets, better. So I bypassed a little bit of time. Our Deep One cult is still growing. If we can turn this into a Deep One sanctum, dude, oh my god, it's going to be so helpful. I need him to sit here, though, like, all day long, concealing deep ones. Like, that's what needs to happen right this moment. This is probably the biggest key to winning in the game for us right now, is establishing a turn 150 deep one cult that's going to start spreading to neighboring cities. Foof, dude. That's going to be so good for our victory if it happens. It's going to be so, so good. Let's cause orcish expansion, I suppose. Yes, let us. She has finally infiltrated this farming community over here. It took a really long amount of time, but she got there. She got there. What do I want her to do now? I don't really particularly know. It looks like the heroes are starting to party up. So they're definitely aware that something is going on. Oh no, dude, what's the Chosen One doing over here? That sucks. I don't want the Chosen One over here, dude. The Chosen One is the worst. She was over here just a minute ago. No, dude. She's like within 2 moves of me right now. I don't like that. And I'm doing important work right now. Like, this is actually important work. You go ahead and just rob the treasury, I suppose. You need money anyways. The deep ones have been concealed, so that's good. They are down to 0 profile, but 42 menace. Anything over 40, anything over like 50 menace means that this is like a real, actual, tangible threat that needs to be dealt with. Not right this second, but it should definitely be on somebody's radar. The fact that they are this large and not on anyone's radar, and that this guy over here just spontaneously forgot about the fact that there was like a fishman invasion, is actually pretty awesome for us. This is good stuff, man. This is working out very, very well for Splat right now. Oh, this guy's trying to take over my horde. What is that banner? What is that? What? He has a fake banner? Listen, fool, there are some things in this life that I cannot... You better wait till I finish building this village. You better give it a sec. I'm gonna build a village, then I'm gonna come for you. Please understand. Oh, we've almost unified our territories. We just need to get the Biping wastes now, and then we can get all this stuff down here. Sir, I'm gonna need you to, get backhanded. Bop. One shot, bro. How do you feel about your life, young blood? You better get back in line when big warlord surges. You little git. You better get up out of here before I break out the orc warlord voice, bro. It'll get straight. Oh, you don't even know. I've been a orc player for a long time. You can get dropped, my man. I don't really want more banners. I think I'm good on banners. Oh, that was good XP too. Well, then I'm glad we killed him. I'm not even mad about it. Let's go ahead and unite the hordes, I guess. Now that we're no longer at war. It's going to take a lot of turns to do that. How come our army got more smaller, bro? I need the army to get more bigger. I need you guys to start spitting out armies. Ah, they've got to be adjacent. Okay, we're not going to unite the horde. We're going to go over there and kind of get things moving. Menace is not growing over here, but we've got 50 turns until this place is taken over by a fishman horde, which gets us well on our way to a sub-turn 150 evil empire on the board. That's pretty good. The bad news is they're putting up wards all over the place. So winning by enshadowing everything is probably not going to be the play here. They are on to us. And they are currently banishing darkness everywhere they possibly can, and it's actually becoming a little bit of a headache. So that's probably not going to be the winning ticket. The winning ticket... Oh! No way, dude. An orc warband spawned right in the middle of all that. Oh, that's so good for us. These guys are all going to have to deal... I mean, the orcs are kind of probably doomed because there's not any ruins nearby for them to spread into. But if this orc warband here gets like the opportunity to build up a little bit, and then we can fold it into our greater orc empire, it gives us a foothold on the mainland. If we can wipe out these two spots, it gives us a connection so that we'll have a contiguous orc empire. I wasn't expecting to play the orc long game here. Normally the orc long game doesn't work for me. It's just kind of like this little diversion I fiddle around with on most of my playthroughs, but it never comes to fruition or works out. This time it's working out amazingly well, and I kind of want to see where this all goes. But we've been playing for an hour. This is Shadows of Forbidden Gods. It's a fantastic game. It's really good. I highly recommend it. It is a very unique grand strategy game that I don't think there's anything else like it, and it has a lot of different flavors on the plate. It's got a lot of different varieties of fun you can get up to. Check it out. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Shadows of Forbidden Gods. Tomorrow we will have something else. Thanks for hanging out, and it's time for me to go.